Hello again. Today I'm going to run through my Photoshop preferences. So I've had a few people mention that when they open Photoshop, it looks different to my Photoshop. So what I've done is I've done a complete reinstall. I've uninstalled everything and reset it back to the factory settings. Okay, so this might be good for people who have gone in and changed their settings and can't remember where they were, like what the default settings were. Rather than doing a fresh install, have a look at what boxes are ticked, and then that's going to be the default settings. Okay, and then I'm going to change some of those boxes, get rid of some of that garbage on the home screen, so then we go straight into Photoshop when we open it. Now this is from a photography point of view, so if you're a graphic designer or graphic artist, something like that, probably not the ideal video for you. As a photographer, I try and keep everything simple. Okay, I get rid of the things that I don't need, and have Photoshop set up very simply. Okay, so more so you guys can follow along. So if you have your Photoshop set up the same as mine, when you open it up, everything's going to be familiar. Okay, there's going to be a few options in here that you might not like. Okay, so have a look at where they started. If I've ticked something or unticked something, feel free to pause the video and go back if it's not doing what you want it to do. Okay, so let's have a quick look at my preferences, and then I'll go into Photoshop as well. There's a few things that we can do in Photoshop just to make things a little bit neater and cleaner. We're going to set up a photography workspace. Okay, so let's have a look at Photoshop and I'll go through my preferences. Okay, so when you first open Photoshop, it's going to look very similar to this. You may have some tips appear on the screen. They kind of randomly appear every now and then, depending on whether you're opening it for the very first time, or whether you've opened it before and then you've kind of closed it down once you've seen exactly how overwhelming it can be. So what I'm going to do is run through how I set up my preferences, and then we'll go into Photoshop and show you a couple of other things that I change. So this is set up for photographers, and this is how I have it set up for myself. So first thing we want to do is go into our preferences. Now this is going to be different for Mac users. So for Mac users, I think you have a Photoshop button here. Click on the Photoshop button, and then I'm pretty sure it's your settings panel. Now for PC users, what we do is we go up to Edit, and we come down here to Preferences. And what I'm going to do is click on General for starters, and we're just going to run through all the preferences, and I'll show you how I have my Photoshop set up. Okay, so this is a fresh install. I've reinstalled Photoshop, I've deleted everything. So what you see here will be very similar to how your Photoshop will appear. So feel free at any time, just pause the video and have a look at the boxes that I've got ticked, because these are the ones that I like to use. From this screen, the first thing I want to do is the auto show the home screen, turn that off. Okay, so that way we're going straight into Photoshop and we're not getting this home screen with all the ads and all the garbage, basically. Turn off auto show home screen, you'll go straight into Photoshop when you open it. Okay, another thing I like to do is use Legacy New Document Interface. And I think that's about it on this page. But on that page, they're the two big ones. Turn off the auto show the home screen and tick the Legacy New Document Interface. Okay, so then we'll go to the interface. This one here, personal preference, I do like my dark themes. Okay, I do like to have everything a little bit darker, just easier on the eyes, easier on my old eyes anyway. Okay, now something that I do change in here is my UI. Okay, so I'm going to change my UI font size to large, and I'm going to scale the UI to font. So that's sort of more for YouTube. So when I create a video, everything's a bit bigger and easier to follow. So again, that's going to be a personal preference thing. Younger people with younger eyes might prefer the default setting. Older people like myself prefer some larger text. Down here, pretty sure I left all that on default. The only one I remember changing was this one and our color theme. So then we're going to go over to Workspace. Okay, now Workspace, again, I did change this one, align UI according to operating system or OS settings. So UI is your user interface and OS is your operating system. That's pretty much it on that screen. I'll leave all of them ticked. Over to our tools. Okay, now we've definitely changed some things here. So I turn off over scroll, I turn off enable flick panning. So I don't like that one. Over scroll off. The animated zoom, I turn that off as well. And that's about it for this one. Now the scroll wheel, zoom with scroll wheel could be handy for some people. Basically you use your mouse to zoom. Okay, so you use the scroll wheel on your mouse to zoom. I'm a bit more old school. I like to hold my Alt key to scroll. And that's about it. So they're the main two I turn off for that screen. Okay, history and content credentials, I leave that on default. Okay, I don't ever remember changing any of these. Couldn't even tell you what they are, to tell the truth. So I leave them as they are. File handling. Okay, we are going to change a few things in here. Number one, and I do not understand why Adobe do not have this ticked, enable legacy save as. Okay, that's going to give you access to more file types to save as. From memory, with that unticked, you can't even save a JPEG. Okay, there's a lot of options that are missing. So if you use the legacy save as, it'll just give you more options to save. Okay, so then if you want a JPEG or a TIFF or PNG, it gives you access to every save as type document. Okay, the rest of it, don't think I changed much here. I'm pretty sure most of them just stay as they are. But what we're going to do is we're going to come into our camera raw preferences. Okay, so camera raw preferences, if you open a raw file, it will default into Adobe Camera Raw. Okay, so that's basically the same interface that Lightroom uses. So for anyone who uses Lightroom, it will look very familiar when you open a raw file. It'll give you all your exposure, shadows, highlights, sliders. Okay, so this first page, I leave that as default. Okay, so I'm not changing anything here. File handling, okay, I always use Sidecar XMP files. I don't know why, to tell the truth. I remember setting it up a long time ago and there was a reason for it. Couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But it will just help save information in your raw files. Okay, JPEG and TIFF handling. These ones we definitely want to open all supported. So automatically open all supported JPEGs and automatically open all supported TIFFs. So what that'll do is every time you open either a raw file or a TIFF file, it will bring it straight into Adobe Camera Raw. I just find that easier to use, okay, because I usually start my workflow in Camera Raw, so by opening anything in Camera Raw first is a good starting point. Okay, performance, yeah, look, you can probably leave that on auto. It should detect if you've got a graphics card. That's nothing that you need to worry about too much. Leave that on auto. Defaults, okay, so the raw defaults, I'll leave mine on camera settings. You can change this to the Adobe default if you want. You can even choose a preset. Okay, so if you have a preset that you find that you always bring them in as, personally I just use my camera settings and then I can adjust my images as I bring them in. Workflow, now there's a few things that I change here. Now my color space, I always use Adobe RGB. Okay, my printer prints in Adobe RGB. My monitor is fairly close to Adobe RGB. Going to change my depth to 16-bit, just more information, okay, more information, more detail, larger files, okay, when you edit your images, you just have more information to edit. When it comes to printing, again, you're not going to notice a difference between 8-bit and 16-bit. 16-bit is simply for the editing side of things. Image sizing, I do change my resolution to 300, that's what I like to print in. Just check that it's on pixels per inch, not pixels per centimeter. So pixels per inch, 300. And I'll leave the rest off. And finally, technology previews. I did cover this in another video. Tick this one. It does help, especially with the, and that's the only reason I use it is for the denoise. It gives you access to a much better preview with your denoise. It's basically a live preview. So as you put your denoise slider up and down, you'll see it in real time. And that's it. That's it for the camera raw preferences. So we'll press OK. And that's it on that page. That's all we need to do there. Now with our export, again, pretty sure these are all on defaults. performance. Okay, so this one can vary. This can vary on how much RAM you have in your laptop, PC, whatever you use. Personally, I'd actually like to bring this down. I have it at around about 60%. As long as you're within the ideal range, and that's going to vary from workstation to workstation. But usually, as long as you're within that ideal range, it's a good place to be. Now, these days, I tend to have both Photoshop and Lightroom running at the same time. Okay, so 60% for me, that's running off 16 gig of RAM. So as you can see, there's only 12 available. History states, this is one of those things where basically what history states are is every time you create a layer, do some sharpening, every time you do something in Photoshop, it remembers what you've done. So if you want to undo things, I can undo up to 50 times. Okay, it's going to remember the last 50 things I did. Okay, so 50, that's just a good mid-ground type thing. Okay, image processing. Now this one can vary. Okay, if you find that everything just seems to be running a bit slow or a bit janky in Photoshop, you might want to change these to more stable. Okay, so I have them on faster. They seem to work okay on faster. I think every year and every update with Photoshop, everything runs slower unless you get the latest and greatest PC, laptop or whatever. Today, now, I find that faster works better. But yeah, you find that if things are running slow, you might want to go to more stable. It's going to run slower, but at least it'll run smoothly. Okay, so I just have it on faster at the moment. I haven't had any stability issues recently, touch wood. It is Photoshop after all. And the rest I don't touch. Scratch discs, cursors, transparency, ruler units, I don't touch any of them. Plugins, I don't use plugins. Okay, technology previews. Now, a few of these I do definitely change. The technology previews are basically your AI. Okay, so it's using AI to do these. And I find that the more AI that they introduce into Photoshop, the slower it gets. Okay, I'm getting to that stage now where I almost need to update simply because Photoshop just doesn't run as well as it used to because there's so much AI in here now and that sucks the life out of everything. So I turn all these ones off, enable focus mode. So yes, we do want to tick focus mode. So focus mode, with this option enabled, the welcome screen will not include what's new. Okay, so that's a good one. Leave that enabled. The rest of them, again, like if you've got the latest and greatest MacBook or PC, it doesn't hurt to have these ticked. Maybe not the use older GPU, but all of these ones, it will just make the preview of everything a lot quicker and easier. On the flip side of that, if you do have an older computer, you might want to tick the older GPU mode. Okay, so that it will help with the older units. So yeah, I'm sort of borderline. I think mine is 2018. So mine's still just in there. And then finally, the last one, the Photoshop Improvement Program. So in a nutshell, if you tick yes, you would like to participate, you're allowing Adobe to use your images to teach its AI. That's what that is in a nutshell. From what I understand, that yes, Adobe will train its AI from your data, from your photos. And that's it. That's my preferences. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit OK, and we're going to have to shut down Photoshop and then reopen it. So if we just go up to File and Exit. Okay, and now this is how your Photoshop will look after doing those adjustments. Now, I did have to reset it a few times, and I'll show you what I had to do because it actually took quite a while to make it appear like this. So if you're having trouble with it still appearing the way it was originally, go up to File, Open, and just open a raw file. Okay, so that's what I did. I opened a raw file. A raw file will automatically open in Adobe Camera Raw. So we're just going to open that up and then it will bring the image into Photoshop. So I had to do that to get this screen because it kept showing up with the original login screen with the home menu. So try that. If you find that you've changed all your settings and you're still getting that home screen, just open a raw file, close it down, and then restart Photoshop. Okay, so now that we've got Photoshop without the home screen and all the advertising, this is your main interface. So you'll find that if you bring in a photo directly from Lightroom, this is kind of what you'll see. This is the screen that you'll see. Okay, so from here, the first thing I do is come up to my window, and we're going to change our workspace to photography. Okay, so that's going to just change the interface a little bit and just give us what we need. So over here to the right-hand side, we've got a histogram, we've got some adjustments, and we've got our layers panel. Okay, and then with our layers, if we click on this little box here, looks like there's 3 or 4 lines, click on that, and then if we come down to the bottom where it's got panel options, I'm going to click on my panel options. I'm just going to change our thumbnail size to large. Okay, and then click OK. And again, you'll need to restart. And what that'll do, it'll just make our layers larger so they're easier to see. Okay, so now that's it. That is basically how I set up my Photoshop. So number 1 is change all those preferences. Number 2, change our window workspace to photography. Now, I'm not going to do a full deep dive into Photoshop in this tutorial. This is just getting it set up. So now when I do my tutorials or my YouTube videos, when I explain things, this is what you'll see. This is the screen that you'll see. Okay, and that's it for this video. So hopefully next time I see you, I will be out in the field, hopefully doing a live stream. Can't guarantee when I'm going to get out there, but stick with it and I will see you all again soon.